Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about integrating spells and rituals in with your healing work. So this may be healing you're doing for yourself, whether it's physical or psychological, or even healing you might be doing for another person. Anything that I tell you today, of course, is not to be used in replacement of any healing that you are getting from, or healing advice or practices that you're getting from qualified medical practitioners or therapists. This is just something to complement what you may already be doing. Before I start though, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. I'm the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path and Tapping into Abundance. And if you want to release those beliefs that have been holding you back from your spell work being successful, or from just having a much happier, healthier life, then do take a look at my free masterclass, How to Heal Your Shadow Through Balancing Your Energy Centers. The link is in the description field below this video. I wanted to talk more about integrating healing in this video because it's something that I do in the Wheels of Empowerment course, which is my course in healing your inner thoughts and beliefs and behaviors that are holding you back, and working with the chakras. And I integrate ritual and spell work in with the energy healing, such as emotional freedom technique and also hypnotherapy. And the reason I like to integrate these things is because it just helps get you more connected to yourself and to your healing being within you, that intelligence within you, within everyone, that has you breathing, has created you and has you in this life. It also has the ability to be able to help you heal as well. And through doing spells and rituals and connecting maybe to deities, connecting to the elements, understanding your energy centers is a way that it can help you with your healing. And if you are going to be healing other people, or you already do healing for other people, you can integrate this into your daily practice to just help focus you more into being an absolutely wonderful healer. So when I'm talking about integrating ritual, this can be ritual that you do before you do a meditation. This could be a ritual that you do before you do Reiki, if you do Reiki, or if you do hands-on healing. You can combine spells and rituals with that. You can combine spells and rituals with any of the energy healing that you do, whether that's energy psychology or whether that is more energy work for healing the body. You can do all of this with acupuncture, with qigong, with EFT, with theta healing, with hypnotherapy, with guided meditations that you might be doing with healing, or Psych K, or any of those modalities. You can use these rituals and practices and just ways of being creative with that to just help balance it out and just make it more connected. When you're more involved with the joy of healing and the feeling that you are healing and have already been healed, then you're working magically towards your healing. So the way you can do this is you can use candles and do candle magic. You can use work with the deities. You can work with the elements. You can work with sigils. You can work with charms. All of the things that we work with in magic you can use towards healing work. So for example, if you're looking at grief and you're wanting to maybe heal some grief from the past, or grief that you might be going through at the moment, and it's not that grief needs to be healed, it's more that grief needs to be allowed and released and acknowledged. But if it's stuck, then healing often has to take place because the energy is being stuck. Grief is generally associated with the heart chakra. So if you know that you're dealing with grief or the sadness with loss, then you're probably dealing with the heart chakra. And so working with the heart chakra, you may realize, well, what is the heart chakra associated with? It's associated with the color green, so you can work with the color green in your magic. You might want to work with a green candle, for example. Or you can look at other aspects of the heart chakra as well, such as forgiveness. Often with grief, there's an element of forgiveness that has to take place, because we'll often be thinking, you know, I should have, would have, could have. And often blame of the self will come in sometimes with grief. So sometimes we may have to forgive ourselves. And love is also associated with the heart chakra as well. So whatever it is that you may be experiencing emotionally, you can sort of connect it with what energy center it connects to, and work with that energy center to help with the healing process. If you have physical ailment, for example, and you're wanting to work with healing for that, then find out whereabouts it is in the body and what chakra it may be connected to, or which chakras it might be connected to. Often if you've got issues going on with feet, for example, maybe you have a lot of problems with your feet. You may be looking at the root chakra and being grounded in the earth and having that solid ground to walk on. So maybe you don't feel like you have a solid base to stand on, essentially. So you could work with the root chakra and then maybe work on other chakras that may be contributing to that. And the way that you can do this, of course, is to then look at what's associated with that chakra. So for example, going back to the heart chakra again, we know it's associated with love and self-love, forgiveness, opening the heart and inviting love in. So it's about loving and being loved, being able to accept love. If we can't accept love because we don't believe we're lovable, it's very hard to give true love. So it's working with healing in all of those ways. You could be working with the heart chakra for any physical ailments that may be around that part of the body too. Often the arms are related to the heart chakra, so if you have any issues with your arms or hands, for example, they can also be related to the heart chakra area, because that's the giving aspect, right? The element of air is associated with the heart chakra, so you could work with the element of air in your healing. So a really creative way that you can work with the element of air is to do spell flags. And you can choose a number of flags. It could be any number that you want to choose. I like to work with 3, so maybe you could use 3, you could use 9 or 7. And for each flag, you might want to write an affirmation on it, or a spell on it, or you might want to draw a sigil on it if you're doing sigil magic. And spell them, okay, so enchant them with spell work, and then hang them up somewhere where the air can blow them, so it's blowing the spell around. That's what prayer flags are. If you go into any countries, any Buddhist countries, that's what they have prayer flags for. They're actually a shamanic flag, the prayer flags. They existed prior to Buddhism, and they were used by the shamanic people. So they work with the element of air. So you can use that as a spell for yourself to help with that healing energy, working with the element of air. You can do self-love tea and work with drinking tea and the herbs associated with love, like rose tea, for example. That's not necessarily the element of air, but if you're looking at combining water, which is the emotions, associated with the sacral chakra, because often our emotions get stuck there. And sometimes the reason why we might be feeling our hearts being closed can be because we're not used to feeling, which is what the sacral chakra is all about. And having that watery energy, and then the steam coming up from the tea is working with air, so you're bringing water and air together. Rites such as letting go rites, often healing regardless of which chakra it is or where you're doing your healing. You have to do a letting go, because from a holistic healing point of view, our ailments actually start on the astral, or actually start energetically within our energy system before they manifest physically. So this means that our environment, our thoughts, our feelings and our beliefs actually contribute to the ailment. So if we can understand what our beliefs are, then we can start to work towards healing those, and then often the ailment will settle down. The body follows the mind. So wherever the mind goes, the body follows. And if we start to look at our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs, often the body will follow emotionally. Emotion is in the body. So if you're feeling anxious, for example, and you've been thinking about things that make you anxious, your body's going to follow along by being anxious, okay? So by doing release work and banishing work in your spells and rituals, you can help yourself energetically release some of those things. And that can be as simple as using a black candle, projecting those beliefs into the candle, allowing the candle to burn all the way down, and then lighting a white candle with the beliefs that you want to have. So your black candle, you could write some of the beliefs or keywords on the candle, or just write them down, put them underneath the candle, let the candle burn down on top of those, and then do the same with the positive beliefs, the beliefs you're wanting to embody and believe, and use the white candle to help bring those into you. Now, it's not just a matter of lighting candles when it comes to changing beliefs. You've actually got to do some work to make those beliefs believable by your body. You've got to embody those beliefs. So that's something you could use if you're working with an energy psychology like hypnotherapy or EFT or Psych K or theta healing or something, to combine candle magic with that release work. You can do forgiveness rites as well. So that can be where, if you're working on forgiving yourself, you can write down what it is that you're holding yourself accountable for and then releasing that. Maybe it's releasing it into a body of water. Maybe it is allowing the petition to burn away, and as it burns away, you're releasing that energy and you're forgiving yourself. You can just say, as you allow it to burn, I now, with the element of fire, allow this to burn away. Other things that you can think about is if you're working with the chakra, specifically coming back to the heart chakra, work with the color green, as I said before. Work with feathers, with the element of air. So you can use a feather to lightly move the energy around your aura. So if you do believe that, if you've caught a belief that you have that may be linked to whatever it is you're healing, using a feather to move that energy on and to get that energy moving on. There's so many different ways that you can bring your magic and spellcraft into your healing practices. Generally speaking, magic, standalone magic, like one spell, isn't going to probably cut the mustard when it comes to healing. But if you're using that spell work and the ritual work in conjunction with the healing modalities and what other types of healing you may be engaged in, you can find that what the spells do and what the rites do is actually just help get you more involved in the healing process, get you more emotionally involved in the results of the healing that you're wanting, which helps your body heal itself. And that's why we do those sorts of practices, to help you heal yourself. So let me know in the comments field if you already do this, if you do combine various different methods of healing, either for somebody else or for yourself, because I'd love to know what sort of methods that you use. So let me know in the comments field what you use. If you're interested in working with me to help heal any beliefs that are holding you back, that are getting stuck and stopping you from moving forward and being who you truly are, do have a look at that free masterclass that I told you back at the beginning, which is how to heal your shadow through balancing your energy centers. That's a long title. I keep falling over that one. And if you're interested then in actually doing some work with me, the Wheels of Empowerment course is the way to do that on a budget, or you can work one-on-one with me as well. All of the links to all of those things, including if you do want to work with me one-on-one, is in the description field below the video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.